Mr. S.K. Kulkarni, Assistant Professor, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. I'm here to have discussion with you on topic curing of concrete. Learning outcomes of the today's session. At the end of the session, students will be able to explain methods of curing of concrete, and also they will be able to apply knowledge of curing of concrete on actual field. Introduction. Dear friends, curing of concrete is defined as providing adequate moisture, temperature, and also time to allow the concrete to achieve the desired properties for its intended use. This is the definition of curing. Remember, friends. And the concrete will be allowed to gain strength during curing, right? When these recommendations are properly specified and performed in the field, the final properties of the concrete mixture will be achieved. Here you can see curing of concrete being undertaken. Water is used for curing of concrete in the image which is in front of you. Now, what is curing of concrete? In little more detail, we will see. Curing of concrete is a method by which the concrete is protected against what? Against loss of moisture required for hydration and kept within the recommended temperature range. Remember, concrete, when it is exposed to sunlight, what will happen? The water will be evaporated, and this loss of moisture not prevented, what will happen? The water required for hydration of cement will be less, and hydration will not be complete, and strength of cement will not be achieved, right? So curing is important. Curing will increase the strength and decrease the permeability of hardened concrete. Curing also helps in mitigating thermal and plastic cracks, which can severely impact durability of structures. Remember, friends, curing will control the cracks in concrete, right? Plastic cracks are there, thermal cracks are there. Those cracks can be controlled if proper curing is done. A curing practice involves keeping the concrete damp or moist until the hydration of concrete is complete and strength is attained. So, concrete will be kept moist during curing, right? Concrete will be kept damp or moist until the hydration is complete. Now, curing of concrete should begin soon after initial setting time of concrete, or formwork shuttering is removed, and must continue for a reasonable period of time as per the specified standards for the concrete to achieve its desired strength and durability. Remember, curing, when it should begin? When concrete sets initially, initial setting time of concrete is reached, right? For 24 hours after initial set, the concrete is kept under 90% humidity. And after 24 hours, when formwork or shuttering is removed, the concrete is now subjected to complete curing. Water is used and other means are also there, which we will discuss now. It is important to make sure an uninterrupted hydration of concrete after it is placed and finished in its position. So curing should be uninterrupted. Remember, hydration should be uninterrupted, right? Which will be ensured by uninterrupted curing of concrete. Followed. Uniform temperature ought to be maintained throughout the concrete section depth to avoid thermal shrinkage cracks. Remember, friends, temperature of the concrete component should be kept uniform. Otherwise, what will happen? Thermal cracks, shrinkage cracks will appear, and those will be opened under the effect of external loading, and concrete will not be durable one. Now, water curing, what it does, it prevents the water loss from the concrete surface by uninterrupted wetting of the exposed surface of concrete. So moisture loss or water loss will be prevented during the curing from the surface of concrete. It's done by spraying or sprinkling water or curing agents over the concrete surface to ensure that the concrete surface is continuously moist. So water is sprinkled, water is sprayed, or some compounds are there. With the use of them, it will be ensured that concrete surface always remains moist. Moisture from the body of concrete is retained from evaporating and contributes to the strength gain of concrete. So when this moisture is prevented from evaporation, right, what will happen? The concrete's hydration of cement will be complete and concrete will gain strength out of it. So once again, why curing of concrete is necessary? In a nutshell, we can say it is necessary to enhance hydration of concrete to achieve desired strength, to improve durability of concrete by reducing cracks, for higher serviceability performance by increasing abrasion resistance, and for improved microstructure by developing better hydrated gel or hydrate gels and solid mass. So these are the important points which are taken care in curing of concrete, and for these reasons the curing becomes necessary, remember. Now there are certain methods used for curing of concrete. Which are those? Those we will see, and those depend upon the site constraints, type of structure, and other material parameters. Okay. Which are important curing methods? These are ponding, sprinkling, fogging and moist curing, wet coverings, membrane curing, steam curing. These are important curing methods. We will discuss these today. In the photograph, you can see ponding method of curing. So what is done? Ponds are prepared. Ponds of mortar, right? Cement, sand, mortar. Barriers are prepared on the slab surface, right? And the water is allowed to stand in these ponds. So this will take care of continuous curing of concrete, remember. Then next you can see spray curing is there. In photograph, spray curing is visible. The spray of water is used for curing of concrete, right? And one more method is using water tubes, and curing is done. So perforated water tubes can be passed in such a fashion. The water will be passed through these tubes and water will percolate continuously and surface of concrete will be kept wet. This is one more method of curing of concrete. Wet curing. Now, in this particular method of wet curing, what is done? Gunny bags are used. Those are covered on the concrete surfaces. Like for example, concrete columns are given curing by this particular method, or concrete columns are covered by these gunny bags, and these gunny bags will be now sprinkled with water. They will be kept wet always, so that moisture will be remaining on the surface of concrete always, and concrete will be kept wet. On the right hand side also you can see the concrete wall is being provided with wet curing. Now next method is membrane curing. Instead of using water, here some membranes are used for curing of concrete. These also serve the same purpose. So what is membrane curing? Membrane curing lessens moisture loss from the concrete surface by wrapping it with an impermeable membrane, remember. And also curing compounds are used, wax, acrylic and water-based liquids. These are also used for membrane curing. These are sprayed over fresh concrete to create an impermeable membrane that will reduce the loss of wetness from the concrete. So this membrane or these curing compounds will prevent moisture loss and the purpose will be served. Now there are these two methods of membrane curing, plastic sheeting and curing compounds. These two ways are there. So a plastic sheet made from polyethylene film is an effective moisture retarder. Remember, it is lightweight and can be used for horizontal and vertical surfaces. During hot weather, white color sheeting is used so that heat absorption is minimum. Here you can see membrane curing. In the both images, membrane curing is being done. Next type is steam curing. Steam curing keeps the surface moist and raises the temperature of concrete to quicken the rate of strength achievement. Remember, here steam is used for curing of concrete to speed up the early hardening of concrete and mortars by subjecting it to steam and humidity. And this method is used generally for precast concrete plants. Remember, in precast concrete plants, steam curing is used, and also in laboratory sometimes steam curing is used for curing of concrete cubes. Here you can see steam curing images. Duty of site engineer. Remember students, site engineer or supervisor has got very much responsibility of providing sufficient curing to concrete members. It cannot be given to unskilled workers. So proper care has to be taken. That is the duty of site engineer. Let us stop a while here, students. Here are few questions for you. Give their answers. Write neatly the answers. Here are the answers. Question number 1, D is the correct option. So all of these reasons are correct of curing of concrete. And question number 2, C is the correct answer. Steam curing is commonly used for precast concrete plants. Here are the references useful for this particular part of study, and these are used. Thank you.